Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whenever you're viewing the topics of the town news. I am Mark Zubarek, and today is July 21st, 2025. However, I'm reporting on a meeting that was held on July 17th, which was last Thursday. I am very impressed, and I am very happy to be able to bring this to you because there was only my camera that was in the room. However, the meeting was held with, I believe, I counted at least 70 residents that were participating in this meeting. So, what we have today is a meeting that has been called by the currently new town manager, Jill Cahill, and she was interested in hearing from the residents about certain subjects that she will be authorized to perform her management duties on. So what I like to do is I have a very brief introduction by Jill herself, and here we will see a clip of Jill Cahill introducing herself to the town.
For those who haven't met me, my name's Jill Cahill. I'm your new town manager here in Danvers. So I'm going to have the rest of our team that's here introduce themselves in just a minute. Just to give you my idea behind this was really just to listen and get to know the people of Danvers and what's important to you, what I should be considering as I'm working with the select board, putting together a vision and a goal and goals for my next year at least and next 5 years. I've started some of that work with our internal team, but it seemed to me, for me, it's a priority to hear from all of you. So tonight is the first step of that. We've got 3 others. And then we'll see how things roll into the fall. We grow quickly in the Citizens Academy, so we may take a little pause and start it back up in the spring.
The clip was recorded on the first meeting that Jill Cahill, in cooperation with the chairman of the Board of Selectmen, carried out this meeting that she wanted to find out from us, from the residents, what do we believe we should be doing. The first meeting was scheduled on July 17th, which we will see in totality, and it was held at Endicott Park Carriage House. The Carriage House is a wonderful facility, and it'll carry a lot more than 70 people, but this meeting was held in a roundtable discussion that our new town manager wanted to conduct. The topics of this meeting were to be recreation, Endicott Park itself, open space, rail trail, harbors, and rivers. Very neutral, very non-controversial functions that she would be delegating on, and she'll be looking for our guidance, and that's exactly what happened. There are other meetings that are scheduled, and I would just like to bring you up to date on that. July 31st, 5 to 7 p.m. The location is to be determined, but it will involve the topics related to DPW, water, roads, trash, electric, and resiliency I don't know what the CASPR is, and you probably don't know either, but I will mention it. On August 14th, there is a meeting scheduled again at the library to cover library, planning, economic development, arts and culture, downtown, and historic Danvers. Now, there's a lot of history being made or was made in the past, and it is being made for the future. On August 28th, 5 to 7 p.m. at the Senior Center, this will be a hybrid option, which there are many, many seats at the Senior Center. But what they want to cover is have an opportunity for the hybrid option to have people not attend the meeting in person, but can participate on the internet. These subjects will be seniors, veterans, public health, and accessibility. That is a big subject, and that should really be explored. So now, if we get to this particular meeting that was held on July 17th, you will see the meeting in totality where the 70-plus residents showed up to the carriage house and were willing to open up and explain their issues that are happening with the park itself, open space, rail trail, harbors and rivers, and there was a lot of discussion that happened in the beginning, and it became a imminent subject: trash removal. Republic has been on strike. Their drivers are not available, and we are struggling to get rid of our trash to the dump or yard waste to the dump or recycling. Recycling seems to be the big problem. Recycling is not acceptable anymore as it used to be, and our recycling has not been picked up now for over 3 weeks, I believe. So we will have to struggle through that, but what I wanted to do is present to you the meeting and the types of individuals that were present and the questions and the comments that were made to the town manager. The town manager being Jill Cahill. Now, one of the observations that I have had is that this type of roundtable discussion with the residents used to be a practice in the past when I was on the Board of Selectmen. However, this time, the selectmen, the chairman of the Board of Selectmen attended, but she was there only for a short period, but she knew about what was going on. However, the rest of the board was not available, and I will make sure that they get a copy of this presentation, because this is something that the board should be doing, because the board deserves to get their policies and procedures and comments out from the residents. They are the elected officials. Jill Cahill is an appointed employee of the town, and we need to remember that. She will not be able to execute some of the policies that we have asked her to do. So I hope the Board of Selectmen, or the Select Board, as they call themselves now, will step up and listen to what's being said to the town manager and give her the proper authority and responsibility for performing some of these functions. So take a look. The meeting is very interesting. It gets hot at some moments, but she was able to handle it, and I congratulate Jill Cahill for conducting this type of a meeting and be able to control it to the point where what she wanted to learn from it and not have certain individuals make comments that do not belong in such a meeting. This is a meeting to search the community and ask them for what are they interested in. So thank you very much, and I hope to get this thing out to the audience, to our audience, as soon as possible. But if this is July 21st, and the next meeting is scheduled for July 28th. So welcome aboard, and take a look at what the town manager is looking for. What are we interested in? Where are we going with this town? This is the select board responsibility, but they have delegated it to the town manager. So welcome aboard. Take a look at what's going on, and I will be bringing you the next segment of this presentation of these meetings that this Jill Cahill is conducting. So thank you very much for watching, and welcome back on July 28th. Thank you.
Before I forget, because Jen Breaker worked really hard on these, one of the things I want to make sure tonight's about too is get engaged, communicate with us, communicate with the town. I want to hear from you. This poster over here are boards, committees, and commissions that have openings. Here, the difference is they have a talent pool form on our website. If you're interested, that's what's open now, and you can send us in one of your talent pool forms. Behind me, and tell me, you might need your help, Eric, on the other one. This is Citizens Academy. I'm actually super excited about this. I've heard a lot of really great things about it. The sign up opens in August, and it starts in September. It's a great opportunity to get to know how town government works. It also looks like a lot of fun, and you get to go up in the tower truck. It's incredible. And the last one over here, perfect, our phone, text, email notifications, ways to hear from us. You'll hear me talk a lot about communication. It's key to my relationship with the town and the people in town. Obviously difficult to communicate to 29,000 people, so, and I do not live on social media, so I do not see that as the only way to communicate. This is really the official way you'll hear and communicate with the town. You can sign up for agenda alerts, meeting alerts, and then any of our news flashes. This is a very good example, these last couple of weeks, to scratch, of a good time to be connected. This way, so you can either use the QR code there to get directly to it, or also on our website. And I highly recommend including your cell phone number as well as an email address, because we can send text. And in an emergency, we can work with the FEMA system, which then can kind of geo-fence an area. And so if you're even driving through it and there's some sort of natural disaster or something happening, you would get it. So highly, this is like nothing else. Make sure you sign up for that. Something to know about tonight: open dialogue, open communication. I'm here to listen. I probably don't know the answers because I haven't been here that long, which is part of why I brought the team. But also, we don't have all the answers, right? So we're here to listen. So we'll provide updates from different team members as we can. But sometimes the answer might be, I don't know yet, but let me think about it, right? Let us bring this back and make it part of our process. I'll introduce myself last, so why don't we start with...
I'm Alicia Linehan. I work in land use and community services.
I'm Erica Visconti. I work for the Department of Public Works.
Sharon Clement. I work for the Department of Public Works.
Nick Campion with Danvers Recreation. Chris Sanborn, Director of Natural Resources and Harbor Master.
Aaron Henry, the Director of Land Use and Community Services.
David Mountain, Recreation Director.
And so we brought the team that's kind of focused on the topics that we thought we'd talk about here tonight, but again, we're here to talk about whatever people want to talk about. A little bit about me. I've lived on the North Shore of Massachusetts for 24 years now. I'm originally from upstate New York. I moved here to take care of my mom. My parents moved here and my mom had a stroke on September 11th, September 11th. I'm the youngest of four, and someone needed to take care of her, so I found the North Shore of Massachusetts and fell in love. This is an incredibly beautiful area. I have 2 kids. They're teenagers, so some days I live a little more stressed than others. Like the teenagers or the aging parents. I'm not sure which ones. I care for my dad still, and my mom was in a nursing home in Gloucester, and a 14-year-old and a 17-year-old. So. Outside of work, I also am pretty busy. Dog lover, lover of the outdoors. You will find me on the beach at any moment I can in the summer, and on the mountain in the winter. My approach to municipal government and what I think is important and what I think I bring to the table here, it starts with customer service at the heart of what we do. Every day is customer service. You are our customers. And I'm hoping I'm setting that tone in town hall. And if you haven't seen it in the past and you have a situation, please speak to me about it. That's going to be a mantra among our team. We've certainly put that to the test over the last couple of weeks. And I think the DPW team, who's really on the front line of this, is doing a great job. Some of the other things that our priorities for me, especially as I start this position, is public trust. And I think that's built by communicating with you and being transparent in the work that we do. So those are things that even when I get into the busiest moments, I will try to bring back to myself and say, oh yeah, don't forget. In that, you will learn email is not my favorite way to communicate, but I understand that's the best way that people get things in. So please know if you email me, you will hear back from me eventually. But I don't sit at my desk often. Anybody who's seen me so far, I was mostly email in the morning and the afternoon, but I'm not a desk person. So trust in government, transparency, communication, and efficiencies. So I think part of what we have to learn how to do with limited resources in municipalities is make sure we can find efficiency in government wherever we can. So services and banners that are offered to you, what I'm learning, I think are pretty spectacular over the years. And I'd like to maintain those and improve those. And hear tonight a little bit more about what you guys want to talk about. We have Alicia here's taking notes. So we'll have a way to kind of think back and bring whatever you bring up for us to think about and bring into each of our strategy planning sessions. We do have the yellow paper over here from Mr. Betancourt, correct? Met him so far, met a couple of these guys already. Somewhere you can give us your email address. We haven't quite figured out, determined how we're gonna do follow-up from these yet because we didn't know what to expect. But if they all turn out this way, it's gonna be a lot of work, so we'll figure that out. So anyone who wants to give us their email address, that's the way to do it. And to get in touch with me, we have an email address, tm.townmanager@danversma.gov. That's monitored by my excellent executive assistant, Ann Freitas, who I think you probably all know. So she works with me to make sure that we get through that, and then does a lot of getting it out to the proper departments. So, and always feel free to pick up the phone. Ann's there. You can start with Ann. She can get things to me, and I can also get back to you. So that's a little bit about me. I guess the only thing I ask of you tonight, one, introduce yourself when you start chatting, just so I have a sense of who you are, in case I bump into you in another place. And two, just be respectful of each other's time. There's a lot of people here tonight. And we brought with us some conversation starters, but I don't think we're going to need them. So I think with that, I'm just going to, I should say, we are recording it for note-taking purposes, and it appears as though Mr. Zuber is recording it also. So If anyone doesn't want to be on camera, you need to talk to Mark. And then I guess other than that, unless any of my colleagues, maybe they want to share to start, rec program is up and running, so I'm sure there's lots to talk about there. I am going to sit just because it's very warm in here. And I do have a cough, so if I start coughing, I apologize. But let's go. What do people want to talk about? Okay, I'll ask. Okay.
So what
Oh, I
happened?
know you.
Everybody knows her.
Located first. What happened with Republic today?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna just back up to give you a little context. And I am working on communication to the public about kind of the process in general. At the beginning, they were I would say at the end of June, the middle of June, they were saying, oh, there's gonna be a strike, don't worry, don't worry, don't worry. We'll have a whole thing in place, you don't have to worry about a thing. So I sent them a letter, public information for everyone once. I sent them a letter and said, this is what my expectations are. They ignored me. And they let us know at 11:38 on June 30th that they would not be picking up your trash starting July 1. And said, we'll let you know on July 7th. Well, that's not gonna work, so we sent them another letter. They ignored me. So I reached out to, one of the benefits of having worked on the North Shore is I worked really closely with the mayors around us. So I reached out to the Mayor of Gloucester, Mayor Beverly, Mayor Peabody. All the town managers said that they're not gonna listen to one of us, so let's all speak with one voice. So we've been working as a group of 14 for the last almost 3 weeks now. We did get their attention, they're talking with us, but what they're not doing is giving us the resources we need. Basically what we found out through this, the people in the trucks are obviously new, they don't know your streets, they don't know your routes. We were talking today, one of the drivers is from rural Pennsylvania, he just goes down the road straight for miles, but now he does not in Danvers. So we've been asking and demanding more resources. Republic corporate has been ignoring us. I will say Republic, our local contacts they're doing the best they can, but they are not getting any support from corporate. Tried calling corporate, they're ignoring us too. So 6 of the communities, Danvers, Beverly, Gloucester, Peabody, Malden, and Canton, filed for an injunction in court today based on the public health nuisance that's caused by the backup of trash and recycling. I will say compared to our neighbors, our trash is in much better shape. If you drive through Peabody and some other communities, there's literally trash on the streets. So I'm grateful for that, but it doesn't excuse the lack of service. So we have a hearing in Salem Superior Court at 2 p.m. on Monday. So we were asking the judge to demand that they send more services here. So that's what happened today. I had to stand in front of this camera, so it's not my favorite thing, but we did it. And so we'll find out more on Tuesday, but it's kind of one of the first big things I've done in this role, so I hope you support it. I think it's important that we send a message to Republic that the lack of services is just not acceptable. Yeah.
Just one suggestion, put that out to the public.
Yes.
The sort of lack of communication is eroding trust, so if you can keep that and put that out there quickly, it's gonna look a lot better for everybody involved.
Absolutely. We have something drafted, but we've been running around, so we will get that out quickly. And the original letter, the other letters I have too are obviously public records, so those are available, and we can show those too.
On a related topic, if like the recycle thing that happened earlier this week, I live right on the street, near that street, so I didn't even bother going. But I have a sticker to go to the transfer station. Is that open to me to go anytime they're open?
Yes, yes.
And I can throw my recyclable material there?
Yes, so I
So I don't
actually,
have to wait for a special day where
no, which,
everybody boards it.
yeah, so we'll talk about both, right? Thank you.
All right.
We'll talk about all three. So the event the other night, we collected more recycling in 3 hours than we did trash and recycling in 3 days. I think, and all before 5 o'clock, which everyone told us they couldn't get there till after 5, but y'all did. So we apologize for the people who did have to wait in line. I think our DPW really is doing the best they can. We learned from that. We're making some changes. We have a lot more dumpsters coming. There will be, Erica's working on it, it'll go out, be announced tomorrow. There will be recycling events Saturday, Tuesday, and Thursday next week. The answer about the transfer station, yes, there is recycling available up there, but the reason we're not sending everybody up there is because it's one dumpster. And now that we know how quickly, I think we had 6 here. I think we had 4 or 6, 4 at the, in all of our trucks, every truck we have. Seeing how fast that was filled up, you know, it will fill up there because Republic empties that, in theory. So yes, you can go up there and use it. And I know Select Board Member Trask was just up there, I think it was yesterday, so he rented
Yeah,
out.
I brought about 10 bags of lawn and leaf bags the other day, and I found out you don't have to wait for the trucks. You can drive around them, you go directly to the trash area, the rubbish area.
Yeah. And just a little bit, so people understand why, like one of the kind of the life cycle of trash. Trash is actually one of my favorite topics. It's becoming less so over the last few years. But one of the cogs in the wheel right now is, particularly for recycling, is getting rid of it. So even if first we have to find the dumpsters, right? There's 14 communities who are in this position. So first we have to find the dumpsters. Then we have to get someone to pick them up. But those people have to have some place to actually take it. So it's a lot of the back end of things, like at the transfer stations, that we all, as customers, don't see, that are slowing down, particularly because the PVD site for recycling is struggling, and everybody's trying to go to one place. And, so it's a lot that's going on. I think our DPW team is there. If I ask them to do something, they say, we can do it. And I look at them like, are you sure? But they can do it, and we'll get through it. So we do have 3 more coming out. I did ask on the call with Republic today when they expect recycling to start again, and they said, we don't. So that is not the answer, hence why we are in court.
On the, go to the transfer station, do you have to have a sticker during this crisis?
I don't know that.
Jill,
answer.
just if people could stay there before they speak,
Oh, yeah,
just
sorry,
because
you
we're trying to
That's right,
track it.
Elaine Heaton. So I asked a question, I was wondering if they're gonna waive that, because it's only gonna be a short time.
So for, if you're going to the transfer station to dispose of trash, the fee is 13 cents per pound for Danvers residents. Recycling is free, so there's no charge for the recycling. The sticker is for the disposal of yard waste. So if you want to go there to get rid of your yard waste, that's a $15 sticker. That's good for the entire year. But if you're just going to dispose of recycling, there's no need for a sticker. Just proof of Danvers residency is all you want.
Thank you.
And we will give, it sounds like we should give Covanta a heads up that people might be coming. So.
Hi, Paul McNulty, town meeting manager, precinct 2, and I work in the rail trail, I'm so happy to hear that trash is one of your favorite topics. Many people here who know. Dave Mountain organized an input session 3 or 4 months ago, I guess it was, regarding open space. There was kind of a general agreement about the 5 or 6 people who were there. We would love to see the town get rid of this carry-out rules and put more trash barrels around. And I think that generally, from all the open space folks, that was very much the feedback that we got. We have volunteers that you probably hear somewhere who, bless her, goes down to the donated trash barrel on the rail trail 3 or 4 times a week and empties the trash barrel. And bless the people at Maple Street Church because they've given us access to their dumpster so we can dump that trash in their dumpster. So it would be great to see over time if the town could, rethink the carry-out law, rule, whatever it is, and look at ways to put more trash barrels around. I know it's not as easy as that. You get a proof that you can pick them up, but there's some feedback.
But that's what we're here to do, right? So I mean, we've talked about it before. We can talk about it again. Thank you. And here, in Gloucester, I would tell you we have seagulls, and they're real big. But I'll talk about it with the team and kind of learn about it. Thank you.
Hi, Lisa Silva. Just to kind of goes along with that as well. I live right along the rail trail. Lot of dog poop issues. So I don't know. I think we have them here at Endicott Park, the dog poop bags with the little barrels. And I had no idea that there were people that were, sort of dealing with the trash on the rail trail. So something like that for all of the people that live adjacent and around the rail trail. Our neighborhoods are filled with dog poop. And even just people dropping their bags, which is sort of, I don't understand, but they'll
They think it's gonna come pick it up? Me either.
Yeah, they'll pick up the poop and put it in a bag, but then they'll leave it on the side of the rail trail or even on the sidewalk in our neighborhoods. It's really disgusting. So just to it's an idea that, if we were gonna go to more trash barrels, maybe something that can go along with it. I know it costs money, but it would be really appreciated, I think, by the people that live around the rail trail.
Sure. And pick up your dog waste, please. I'm not gonna find it this way. I'm not ignoring anyone on this side.
Hi, I'm Ben Keenan, I'm involved with recreation with Dave and stuff like that. But I'm involved down in Plains Park a lot with leagues, between the Babe Ruth League and the Men's League and stuff. I help schedule when they're playing and stuff like that. The area down there has sort of been neglected. The trash is there a lot. What they were talking about, the carry in, carry out, just doesn't work. So it'd be a great idea if we could get barrels down there. We try and get the people that are using the fields to clean up, and they're pretty good about it, but it's still a mess. The grass isn't getting cut very long, or mostly on the outside of the fields. And I know it's a question of help. There's not enough, because there's so many areas that the W has to cut, things like that. But, maybe looking at turfing the field or something like that. And also, on the basketball court that we have, I have a league that runs in the summer, a high school girls league, and when I get to the beginning, there's a lot of trash left from the weekends and stuff like that. We pick it up and we throw it away. We only have the one barrel. That fills up pretty quick, and then it ends up falling all over the ground, and it's a mess. It's kind of embarrassing, because we have high schools from all over come in to play in the league, and people from other towns come in and they see the mess. It's kind of a bad thing, just something to want to bring up.
And is my understanding with our DPWs that we have made sure that we have your dumpsters at all the schools and parks, league dumpsters as one of the priorities for public. Have you seen them as a dumpster?
Well, there's dumpsters behind the middle school.
Yeah, has it been emptied, do you know?
That I couldn't tell you. We don't really use that. There's a barrel by the basketball court, and the DPW does come now, I think on a regular basis, and because it was empty last night, so they are getting there, but a lot of times it just gets overflowing. They don't get there on a regular basis sometimes, but when I call Dave, he makes a call and they do pick it up.
And thank you, Dave.
This topic, by the way, that we're talking about right now, has been going on for 20 years. My son's 25 and he plays baseball in baseball parks. I brought bags with me and picked up trash while I was there on a regular basis. So, I don't know how we fix this, whether it's, if we have barrels, they overflow. If we don't have barrels, we have crap everywhere. I think most of the people enjoy the town. I personally hate litter. Anytime I've taken my kids or grandchildren to parks and Danvers, I have bags with me and I pick up trash while I'm there. And there's always trash to be picked up. And I could fill bags of it. And I do. I don't do it as often as I used to. But, that's been a 20-year issue. I thought I would say that. It's not new.
Thank you.
I just want to expand on that. When the carry-in, carry-out started,
How long does anyone have a reference?
the idea was that it would free up the Public Works grounds division so that they could do other things, like work on the ball fields, and it's not happening. We informed the Recreation and the Grounds Department that we were going to host the Little League State Tournament this year, which is this weekend, and asked if certain things could be improved in the park. Your Grounds Department Director, Foreman, I guess he is,
promised us a lot of things, and to date, nothing has been done.
And it's this weekend.
It's this weekend. They came down today and they filled some clay in the base paths. I mean, they painted it and then they left the painted lines. So now we got white lines on each side of the base paths. They did nothing to the mound. For some reason, he took the path out from the mound to the plate, which cuts down on the wear around the pitcher's mound. And now we've got this question mark shape or teardrop shape. It's not a good presentation for all these people that are coming from around the state this weekend. And I texted with him today, and he told me that they're off tomorrow, so nobody's around.
We're working tomorrow, so I'll find out.
Yeah,
We'll all be over tomorrow, so.
it's one thing after another, what they're gonna do. I mean, we run a big tournament down there, and all the proceeds that we make, we put it right back into the park to make a facility, an eye-opening facility. As I go around, I'm now the district administrator for District 15 on the North Shore here. As I go to all the other parks, all those other parks have surpassed our fields. We were the cream of the crop, and over the years, our fields are horrendous now. We went from an A+ to a C.
Thank you, John.
Yep.
We know we were there, so.
Hi, Bill Wolba. Really, kind of three topics: personnel, programs, and problems. So I know you're
I missed the third one, personnel, programs, and
problems.
problems.
So,
The three pieces.
so I know you're coming in, you're getting oriented to the people, and you're covering down on the kind of what's there. I'd like to highlight that the recreation department is really unique in terms of its personnel. You can train a lot to standard, but you really can't train good judgments. You can't train efforts. And really working with a whole swath of the recreation staff, I mean, they all have it. They're all, already leaders and moving out in that direction. So they're probably more user-friendly as a citizen than the rest of the local government. And so really just wanted to highlight the good personnel that you've received. Programs. The recreation department runs so many programs out of hide. They're not funding this with tax dollars. It's all self-funded through fees. And so be it things like the Parks program, which is free, any of the programming that's happened here at Endicott, the concert series, the nature center. I mean, really, they're moving out in every direction, and it's outstanding. And so I wanted to really add one problem, or maybe I'll call it attention, that sort of ties into some of the comments that have already been made. So we have a recreation department, not a parks and recreation department. And for the most part, the physical maintenance of all these sites is controlled by the DPW. And in observing how some of these issues get raised and then resolved or not resolved, it seems like that's a place where there needs to be more communication. Because a lot of times the issues that are raised to the recreation department sort of go off and die when they get transferred to the DPW.
Thank you. And I will say, when I first started, I was amazed at the recreation department and how it's set up here. There are not a lot of It's been a lot of all of you who send your kids there and trust us with your children. There are not a lot of municipalities that still maintain a recreation program. I went to the muster. They took everything in me not to jump right in. They told me I couldn't take my shoes off. I was blown away at the number of kids that this community, that this program serves every day. I continue to be impressed. So I agree with you, and then we will take that back. It's really important.
I'm just going to give a couple of points. I'm here more or less on the airport, but on the trash situation, I go to Salem Willows a lot. At night, they have this little small dump truck that goes around. He picks up all the barrels for the city, picks them up, and they get rid of it. We probably should have something like that at Danvers. You follow what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know, put a barrel everywhere and have public works every night go around, pick them up, and empty them. I mean, that would be a smart thing to do. This way here, the parks will look much better, honestly. Just a thought of what I saw.
Hi, Charlie Linscott, Precinct 8, town meeting member. The recreation department, I take a good part of it. I'm a disc golfer, so I'm out there a lot playing. I'm also on the rail trail committee, have been for coming up on 15 years. And I'm one of the guys out there picking up the poop, by the way. As well as Paul. Not too long ago, we passed off the mowing of the trail to the town. And Tyler Berry, I want to give him a great, congratulate him on all the fine work he does out there. But that, they bags of poop, they would actually hand to you when you were mowing the lawn. I thought you wanted it, I don't know. But the real reason I would want to talk tonight is on the pickleball. We play twice a week. We have many here in the room, I can see. We call ourselves the Peeps. We play twice a week. The courts are on Highland School property, so we share it with restricted hours with the kids during the school year. And the maintenance of the court, we try hard, but it's lacking. There's cracks, there's safety issues. Kids like to throw rocks on courts. We have one of the 6 courts down now. It's broken net. It's been that way for a month. The courts are in rough shape. There's cracks. We asked for help. They put a epoxy net. That's helped, but now that epoxy is wearing out. The coating on the court is starting to tear and rip up because it was done with tape underneath the lines, so it like dead spots. They're just
It's a tennis court, right? It was a tennis court that
it was rebuilt tennis courts. So what we'd like to do is just put some attention towards them, since there is a volume of players. If you go by there on a Saturday morning or a night during the week, you can't get a court. Because it's so full. So any help you could do would be greatly appreciated. Make it a line item on the budget to maybe replace them down the road, or segregate us from the school so that we don't have those restricted hours. That'd be a little bit easier for us to do.
And you are everything parking and everything with the school?
Well, during the school year, we're restricted by the senior center. We can't park at the school, of course. All right. And of course, we can't park at the school. So we park over the senior center. But the senior center wants us to park down the end because we're in the way of their clients. That's understood. But if we'd like to satisfy citizens, so anything you do as far as a budget line item, or some help to restore those courts, because they are being heavily used, would be greatly appreciated by not only the Peeps, but by, I think, a lot of people that come from out of town as well.
I hear about it a lot. Dave, did you want to say something?
Sure. David Mountain, Recreation Director, just to answer some of Charlie's concerns. So I've been talking to Charlie about pickleball courts for several years. So Charlie brings up a few key points. So, these courts were built over old existing tennis courts. So the existing foundation is probably about 40 years old. And we re-sport topped it with paint and a sport turf thing probably about 10 years ago. We were one of the first communities to have pickleball courts. And when we did that, we patched it with a patching technique, which you said coming up like tape. It's kind of like Band-Aids over the cracks. It floats over there, but we recognize it's past its time. So last year we did get approved, and it's self-funded through the Recreation Department, because we have been bringing this up for a couple of years, and everyone here knows that the competitiveness of warrant articles every year. So pickleball, unfortunately, did not make the cut for several years. So we were lucky enough last year, I believe, to self-fund that. We had a $250,000 warrant article, I believe, approved for improvements of the pickleball courts. Sounds like a lot, right? It's not really. We found out it wasn't enough. So I started working with an engineer firm to do the specs and do what really needed to be done there. We're going to need a little bit more time if we're going to self-fund it through recreation, so we can do the appropriate repairs. It's not a Band-Aid. We're beyond Band-Aid, we're beyond patching. It's a complete rebuild. So that's kind of new information. No more repairs there, rebuild. We just need a little bit more time to get a little more funds to make those. I started working with an engineering firm to develop the specs and what was needed so we could go out to bid. And when we started talking preliminary numbers, we realized, one, the timing wasn't good, and two, we didn't have enough money given the bidding process. So we're working on that. As far as the location, virtually every community that has pickleball courts has other issues related to pickleball.
When he brought it up, I said, where are they
So-
and why am I not hearing about
So,
it? He said,
We're lucky from one perspective that it's at the Highland School and it's not affecting neighbors, okay? That I'm aware of. But because it's on school grounds, because of school safety and outsiders on the grounds, we've worked out some arrangements with the school administration that we have a running list of who uses it to the ongoing group. We ask for parking at the senior center and access it over a walking bridge to the foot trail to access the backside. So we're providing a space and a gap between the school. And I think we can all appreciate school safety these days, having outsiders on school grounds. In some communities, it is just not allowed. There is zero. Here, we have a pretty good relationship. We have most of the same people using it. And we have a good relationship with the schools. We've been able to monitor that and have some success. But Charlie's right, there is some limitations, especially they don't want us out there during recess time when there's 400 kids out there. So it's in the morning before they come out to lunch, and then afternoon. And we flex that with our fun club program where we just get out of the way for that. But it's, there are 6 courts. We probably could have 15. But just to have the 6, we're lucky to have. And there is a plan, but there just hasn't been adequate funding, and there hasn't been enough time for us to save on the recreation side through our revolving fund to pay for that. So that's the full story on pickleball, but we fully support pickleball. We run programs, we run lessons there. You know, we want people outside participating. That's what recreation's about. So we're working towards that. There's not a quick fix. When it's done, it's going to have to be shut down. There's going to have to be demolition and a complete rebuild. So thank you for your time.
yeah, thank you. And I should share with you one of the things I'm trying to do is learn my way around and familiarize myself with Danvers. And so the team hears me all the time, show me on a map. I need to see it on a map. So engineering brought me a map. Do you want roads? Do you want this? Do you want? And I was like, I need landmarks. And I think if I met some of you at town meeting, I would ask you, like, give me a landmark to help me. So the map I ended up with is all the schools and all the parks. So if you see me go, oh, now I know what you're talking about. That's what that's about. So yes.
I'm Andrea Downing. I just want to know how much more money do we need, how long do we anticipate it would take, and should we do some kind of fundraising?
I don't know those answers. I learned the most I've learned about pickleball so far, just how to. So
I can guesstimate.
I'm gonna say yes on fundraising though.
It's about,
The answer to that
it
one.
could be up to 100,000 more.
100,000
Yeah,
bucks, so
yeah,
we have
yeah.
250,000.
Yeah, it's on this, earmark for that. It could be 100,000 more for the design, engineering, and the completion of that. Well, for us to go ahead and put that out to bid, we have to have a funding source. So we have to get the money before we can go through that process. Through town, the approval from town meeting.
For programs that the rec department runs?
Yeah, we run programs, exactly.
I have been successful in Gloucester with private-public partnerships though. So in Gloucester, the ball hockey rink was a private-public partnership. New tennis courts at our high school was a private-public partnership. Pickleball's tried real hard, but there's nobody who wants them next door to them. But they are trying to raise the money. So if that is something that the community wants to explore, I have some experience with it, and I'd be happy to have that conversation.
But will there be grants available and kind of?
And that's, I mean, we're always, so I'm getting to know each of the teams to understand how they explore and pursue grants. My background, when I was a community development director in Gloucester, finding grants and receiving grants and being successful with grants was probably one of the highlights that I bring to the table. So as I get to know each one of these teams, finding out and Sharon, let me know she's one of the grant writers and finders of money around here. So you know, we're going to start working on a grant strategy. So we'll definitely keep it.
This is like one of the biggest things for the older adult portion of the community, as far as like the senior center also, but like exercise wise, the rail trails and the pickleball, you know, the kids have all the fields and stuff like that would be amazing. So that's just something that we're looking for.
Great, thank you. That was actually one of our conversation strategies. Thanks for sending. Yes. And then I'll come over here.
Gail Aldini, I'm one of the pickleball thieves. And the rec department
no restricted hours, and there's no bets. And then, as time moved on, not many pickleball courts were available, so we had a lot of people from other communities coming, which was kind of, it became crazy. Then COVID came, then everything changed, and all of a sudden, we couldn't play when school was in session, which didn't make sense. We probably had, the youngest one is 60, the oldest one is 85 that we play with. For one, we couldn't chase the kids if we wanted to. We're corralled in, okay? We can only play 8:30 to 10:30, okay? Just to get there at night. Then you can only play till, a little bit more. I would like to see that we play a little bit longer, like 8 to 11:30, or 8:30 to 11:30, 3-hour span. Because when colder weather comes, we're still out there playing, okay? And then you have to swap. The kids, they go over, they say hi, everybody's very respectful. So I would just like, between the rec department and the schools, which the principal didn't mind us playing there at all, that we could find a little bit more time to play. Because once again, as Andrea said, this is where a lot of people meet, they have a lot of fun. A lot of people that live in the Stone housing, Stone Street housing, they used to walk around the perimeter. And we used to see them in the car shop. You don't see them anymore, and this is a great place for them to walk because they don't trip from the sidewalks. So I just think that I understand that they're, mixing the kids and it can be problems, but we haven't had a problem. And more people go to other communities to play because the courts are better. So we're really just, Danvers old farts playing pickleball.
You're playing pickleball. You're not called the old
So
fart.
just to have people just look at it a little bit differently, expand it a little bit more for the old folks in town. That's all I'm asking.
My name is Carboni. It sounds like we have 6 pickleball courts, and it sounds like maybe we need more. So my question is $250,000 to redo 6 courts when there's still not going to be enough courts. I wonder if that's even practical. It seems like a lot of people won't get to play. And is there any money that can be like, I know pickleball is usually like 40, 50, 60-year-olds. Can the senior center, maybe there's a better place to put pickleball courts? I'm new to town, I don't know all the areas, but maybe we should take that money and put it somewhere and put the pickleball courts where you don't have to worry about the kids. Use that money more wisely instead of ripping them up and whatever, maybe build a new one. I mean, has that been thought of?
I don't know yet, but we'll find out.
Thank you.
Tony Betancourt, Precinct 5 Town Meeting Member. On the pickleball courts, I swear you can play on grass, right? Can you play on grass?
No.
I was down there in Tucket, they have grass field, they have grass courts down there. No, I'm telling you.
No, it's a hard court.
I swear to God, it's grass, man. I have to go look when I go down there again, I'm telling you. It's unbelievable. I saw them playing. They just built them. It's on.
Go play pickleball with them, they'll be at the peeps.
I don't play pickleball. But also, didn't I hear that they're gonna put a pickleball court in at Best Buy and Beyond that building
I
there?
heard the Bed Bath & Beyond, that's what I said to.
That was a while back, I heard
To my
that.
folks in other communities that ask about pickleball, I'm like, you got the Bed Bath & Beyond happening.
That's what I heard.
Danvers is gonna be the pickleball capital of the North Shore.
That's what I heard.
Allow us to join that place. It's gonna be expensive.
It's gonna be expensive. You staying this side, no, you guys, yep.
It's not just older people anymore, yeah.
I know.
There's a lot of young kids.
My understanding is Nick is a pickleball player.
Yeah, my grandkids play, we see more and more younger kids coming out and playing all the time.
Hi, I was gonna ask a specific question. Nice entry. So basically, it sounds to me that the rec department needs to support the community. By getting together, maybe getting a fundraiser or two as a community, because they will get the people what we want, and then everybody else will get whatever we want as well. So let's focus on the rec department and how can we support the rec department, and also how can we come together as a community and support everybody else as well. You know, that's the important thing. Like somebody was earlier, they do a great job self-funding. So it's time for us to step up and help them self-fund, backboard, and anybody else's sport as well. Grass even.
Well, and you are already, I'm looking over here, you guys, you guys already have have some great private and public partnerships, and the rail trail also. They both have friends on organizations, so they're definitely a model for it to do here in the community. I'm gonna call him because he hasn't talked yet, but you're next. Although, I mean, I've seen you before. I know you.
Yeah, Jim Rose, Town Meeting Member Precinct 3. I had a couple of calls on this. Sandy Beach. It's been perennially, it's open to walk on the land, but the beach is always closed to pollution. So I guess the question is, and some of the residents were saying, back in the old days, we all used to swim in there all the time, and now we can't. And yet, back in the old days, Boston Harbor was a dump, and now you can swim in there. So we've gone the wrong way. I mean, just put it on the radar. We need to find out what's causing the pollution. Why is it such a big issue, and what's the source, and can we, get that thing open?
Yeah, and Aaron and I were trying to find time to talk about this leading into this because I had a sense that it was going to come up. So I don't know, Aaron, if you have.
Yeah, so about 2 or 3 summers ago, we started failing regularly the weekly bacterial tests that is part of this state beach program. That's a grant-funded program. And so the last 3 years, we've been working with Salem Sound Watch, our own engineering department, because of our water system. We do, it's called the NIPDES program, the National Pollutant Discharge. I can't remember all the acronyms, but so we are out and about testing for hotspots all the time. And the last couple of years, we've really intensified our efforts to figure out what is causing the bacterial load in the Porter River. This spring has been better, although we have not been open as much. It's a 2-pronged test, and we're failing one or the other. We have yet to fail both. So we're chasing that down. It's coming out of Frostfish Brook. That is the problem specifically at Sandy Beach. And we are chasing it up the various tributaries of Frostfish. We're working with the engineering department, the health department, the planning office, because we have the conservation agent in the planning office. So it's a cross-departmental effort. We have not yet been successful in figuring it out. We think we have a strong lead, but we need to figure that out definitively before we can go and try to work with these people to help us solve the problem.
I would say my experience with this in the past is it's hard to find a point source. It's very rare that it's this. Right. This is what it is right here. It's usually a bunch of contributing factors. Stormwater almost always being part of it. I know that's one of Sharon's favorite topics. One of the things to keep in mind, well, one, you don't have septic, so we're not septic, so this is not that. But when, things like, and it brings here I am talking about trash again, but it brings to mind things like the poop bags, things like litter, things like why we couldn't just create a pile of recycling when we were overflowing the other days. That all goes back to stormwater, and that all ends up at our beaches. So there won't be a quick answer from my experience, but I do understand that that's an amenity that people have loved in the past. I told you to find me on a beach every day of the weekend if possible. So, and Chris is going to take me out on a boat at some point here. I swear I'm going to make time for that and get to know your river better. So know that it's definitely on the radar, and I understand that's an important amenity to get opened up to the public.
Dan Albany, Central Avenue. And staying on the subject of the river, and you guys do a great job with the handling the river stuff. I guess my question would be dredging. And I went out this morning at low tide. I had about 4 feet under my boat in the Crane River because I had a signature Crane River.
Yes.
Is there anything going on? I know. How long ago was that?
That was in 2007, 2008. Did our last dredging project. We actually just wrapped up a feasibility study for our next dredging project with the goal of putting a shovel in the ground over the winter of 2027, 2028.
With the focus on the crane?
20-year cycle.
With the focus on the crane? On the crane?
Absolutely. Crane's where most of the sediment seems to be run into. So yeah, that would definitely be a focus.
And again, your crew is great down there.
Thank you.
That's great.
And Chris, people don't know this about him because he doesn't brag much. We've talked about grants. Since I've been here, I think I've either signed or accepted or signed a letter saying, go get this grant. I think I've seen 4 come across my desk in 2 months out of Chris Gilmore. So he's incredible at what he does. That's right here.
Kind of the same. You can introduce yourself. Yes. John Almeida.
I'm gonna see it.
I'm John Almeida, I'm a precinct 3 town meeting member. I live across the river from Sandy Beach, and I used to go there as a kid, so I'm one of the old timers who has memories of it and everything. One thing that might be related to some of the bacterial issues, but it's definitely related to the aesthetic issues of that park and the beach or the geese. The geese are just harass that thing
It 100% is.
over and over again.
If we had a chance, one of the things we did was test for the bacteria to find out if it was avian or human, and it's almost always avian, so.
Yeah,
I don't know if they're.
I should have mentioned that before in the goose management piece is a big part of chasing this down. There are geese there that they're probably not causing the problem there specifically because it's flowing down. But we are thinking about maybe DNA testing, but that all indications are that it's probably avian is the source. We just have to figure out where that is coming from, because as Joe said, it's not a point source. It's not just coming from a pipe. It's kind of everywhere. So, but we're working on that and we're aware of that.
But it also goes to the aesthetics of that park. And
Yep.
I think that park is the parcel directly adjacent, but down the river a little bit are two pieces.
Pope's Landing?
No, the other direction.
Oh, John George on
No,
the
on the same side.
They're on Beverly.
No, right adjacent to Sandy Beach, there's another parcel in there.
Oh, it's just the ocean parcel.
It's just not used.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I got you.
Those are two, I think, two resources that are sadly underused for the town.
Yeah.
And if we could find a way to make productive use of those places, it would be a great thing.
I'm just gonna see if anyone else who hasn't talked yet. I told you I'd come back to you, and then I come back to you, and I think I saw it. But go.
No, I had a question about the Bells Grove. Is anything happening there with the home
Yeah, to Aaron there too. I don't have an update on it.
Yeah. So LaBelle's Grove was acquired 2014, 15. We have a plan for that site. We just have not been able to fund that plan. That's the short answer there. The house came down earlier, maybe 24, summer of 24, I think we got the house down. So hopefully the plan, ideally I've been trying to work with DPW to make sure that we get that in build mode so we don't lose the field, because that's a big part of moving forward is trying to hold that field open. But right now it's just kind of in that competitive environment of where our priorities and where our resources. And
Pickleball courts.
What's the plan? A future plan?
Yeah, passive recreation. One of the grant programs that we use to acquire the site requires passive recreation. And we do have a plan, and I apologize, I don't know if it's on the website, although I know it was for many years. It may have come off just because it had kind of been a stale bookmark for so long. We can repost that, I think, rather than me trying to describe it. Community gardens, an outdoor nature space, a canoe launch, all of those good things, trails, all of that fun stuff. But I can make sure that plan gets reposted to the website.
It's a beautiful area.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to explore it yet. If it ever breaks, 85 degrees, I will probably go over there maybe in the fall. It's a little warm right now. Yes, but hold on. I said yes over here first, and I'll come back around.
Hi, my name's Bill Sysinski, and I'm on the River Committee, with a few of us here. And we talk about pollution in the Danvers River. I've been on the river for a long time, over 50 years. And I used to swim in there, and I fish in there. And there's a lot of stripers and fish coming up through the river. And in the bacteria count, you say it's high, maybe open up the range. But the other thing you have to be cognizant of is increasing the cleanup at the beam house. Because they're doing that super fun cleanup, and they don't have a lot of retention around to prevent any runoff going back into the river, which they say they're monitoring it, but with extensive rain, with snowfall, ice melt, it's all gonna run right down into the Danvers River. So you're gonna probably see that escalate even more. And a lot of that mud in the river, because I've walked in it, and things that you just touch it and it just oozes out oil and grease, right Pete? And he does all the moorings in the Danvers River. So that's something you really have to be cautious of. And I'm all for supporting like a Sandy Beach project, because I think there's a lot of beneficial opportunities there for kayakers to go out of there, for paddle boarders, charge a small fee, resurrect that beaches. There's been grants sent out that I see through Mass Boaters and Yacht Club Association. We can get a grant to help improve beachfront. That is a beachfront. And we also talked about the dredging at Danvers River. That dredging, the dredging out of the river have to be moved offshore and put into a cell offshore, and that's the expensive part of that. Because I helped the Port of Boston with that massive, and we raised funding for that through a group I belong to in the Massport. So that's very expensive. Now, I just got an email this morning, and there's one marina, Jubilee Yacht Club, that just sent an email out. They want to get a bunch of other marinas and waterfront areas to conglomerate together and help build a volume purchase, would you say, of a dredging company to come in here and help move some of this product out when the opportunity comes about. I sent that off today in an email, and there's an email to go and talk to the people and have a group meeting on it. So there's a lot of opportunities out there to hopefully improve the waterfront area. And a lot of it is probably from the runoff, coming off the streets, and a lot of it.
I mean, most beaches flunk 48 hours, if they're tested within 24 hours of a rain event.
They're gonna fit.
they'll flunk.
It's all
Yeah.
about
But,
Yeah.
so
Hi, I'm Charlotte Jordan, the town meeting. And I agree, the dredging needs to be done, it always does, that comes up, but as far as the park itself, it's such a gem, it really is.
It is.
We can do, and I don't know why, I don't mean negative, but it just keeps getting pushed aside and aside. And it really is one of our, it's a beach, it's a beautiful, there's a lot of land next to it, so much opportunity there, and a lot of the beach grasses are taking over more and more of the beach. So I think the beach needs to be, I'm thinking about I live on River Street, that's where Sandy Beach is, and my husband grew up there, and spent his whole childhood at that beach and on the waterways. Yeah, I just hope that still keeps, let's keep that alive, I love the idea of kayaks and paddleboard.
Put a small pier out there.
That's
Obviously they pass a new
That's
environmental,
recreation right
I know
there.
somebody in environmental put something, you have to raise
Yeah,
that.
get the kids
The
down
piers
there.
like off a foot, so it doesn't hurt a little 3x3 foot,
Yeah.
three by area for the
Yeah.
worms or something that they can't grow there.
A
But
kayak
if you
out
put
there.
something out there, then people would come. I work in Manchester by the sea,
Yeah.
and I see all the infrastructure work they're doing there. It's remarkable with
Yeah.
some of the grant money and things that they're doing there. And
Yeah.
adding on to piers, and the boats just keep coming.
Manchester.
I have 3 boats down at Danvers Port Yacht Club.
Yeah.
I've been down there over 50 years.
Yeah,
So
same
I've
here.
been seeing quite a bit of the improvements that have gone in there. And it can improve even more. And take some of the traffic, parking and issues that we have over at Pope's Landing, maybe away from there and move it somewhere else. They have
Come on
an
down
activity
and
at
we'll.
lunch.
I would love to. I'm gonna go by boat for sure, but
I'll take care of my boat.
Yeah.
When I go by my boat, I'll take you down.
It's wide open.
You get
Thank you.
Yeah.
I know you're chomping at the bit. We'll go, we will come back to you, Tony. I know. I see you.
problem. I'm ready.
Dave McKenna, president of the Danvers Historical Society and Precinct 8 town meeting member. As you probably all know, most of you, we own the incredible Glen Magna Farms right next door, which was originally part of the old Endicott estate that the Historical Society and town meeting joined together to purchase. That's private, this is public, a lot of people don't realize that. But we've had a great partnership over the years with the Endicott Park, and we work a lot of programs together. My concern tonight is Danvers has an incredibly rich history. We've been here for almost 400 years now. Actually, yeah, just short of 400 years when the first settlers came over. We still have the Endicott Pantry planted almost 400 years ago, putting out fruit. We had the witchcraft trials, which The Danvers Alarm List that owns Rebecca Nurse Homestead is preserving that memory, and there are a few other groups around town working on it too. Right now, we are in the middle of 250th anniversary of the founding of this great nation. And Danvers played a very central role in the beginning of that. April 19th, 7 brave Danvers men gave their lives to get us a nation. And the town really has not taken too much interest in participating in that. The Alarm List and the Historical Society have run programs every year to commemorate that. We've got a town meeting coming up where I've talked to Pat Frazier. We're going to reenact the town meeting where the town did vote to secede from Britain. But we have other programs coming up. September, we're going to celebrate Benedict Arnold's coming through Danvers while he was still a hero of the American Revolution, with troops that were going to attack Quebec. Those of you who don't know it, if it hadn't been for Benedict Arnold being such a great general, Washington never would have survived 77. Would have been done. He turned coat later, but at that time, he was important. We have all these programs going on. We're hoping we might be able to get some interest from the town in participating. Back at the 200th anniversary bicentennial, 50 years ago, the town had all kinds of programs going on. This year, it's the Danvers Alarm List, the militia, and the Danvers Historical Society that are carrying the ball on it. And I'm hoping the town might be willing to get involved in some way. Thank you.
And you're working with the Rep 250 in the Massachusetts? right?
Yes, we are, absolutely, yeah.
Can you talk more about it?
Yeah.
Okay. Me?
Moment.
All right. Tony Bencourt, Precinct 5 Town Meeting Member, live at 15 Thorpe Circle. That airport, that's not gonna cost us any money. We gotta work on that, okay? We have a problem over there, okay? They don't listen to us, they don't take care of us, okay? And I've got this blown up. You can see all the houses that are here. We have so much real estate around that airport, okay, that they are interfering with us, okay? If you look at the other side where they don't fly, there's no real estate over there, okay? That plane that went down, if we weren't complaining about that, what's going on, about the runways they're supposed to be, that would have been in Woodvale, guaranteed you, okay? I guarantee you right now. The day that thing took off, it took off on 16. 16, the Calm Winds runway. Believe it or not, could have been on 27, okay? It took off on 16, came around for 27 because he lost whatever it was and crashed on St. Fonso Drive, okay? Now, if we weren't picking on these people and make them go by the rules that they say they're gonna give us, which they don't, because I listen to it all the time, okay? That's why I bought the radio.
I wonder what that was here for today.
Okay? And otherwise, we'd have more problem, okay? We would have been a big problem in Woodville, I guarantee you right now. So we have to work on this problem, okay? These people have been pushing us along. Mr. Zubrick's been helping me out quite a bit. He knows more about this, and I appreciate this man helping me, okay? We can't get anything out of it. I just went to the meeting, was it Monday? Monday. We asked for questions. They just listened to us, and like we talk deaf ears, okay? He even tried to tell me there's no one in Danvers complaining about the airport. I'm the only one complaining.
That's not true.
Thank you. I actually went to the airport for the first time the other day, just to get to know a little bit more about it. I don't have any answer for you right now.
Well,
but
I'd like to sit down with you and show you, because this is right off their, their master plan, okay? You can see all the houses that
You
are there.
blew up their master plan for them.
Believe me, these people are sneaky people, okay? They tell you one thing and they do something different, okay? You need a radio, okay, and you gotta listen to the stuff, because I catch them all the time in lives, okay? That's the problem. But they come to you guys, and you guys just believe them. And I, like an idiot, I gotta work. 19 years I've been working, and finally we're getting somewhere. We've gotta finish this off, okay? We gotta get squared away, honestly, okay? I'd love to sit down with you and go over this, bring some people that are interested in this and get this squared away, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Ross Petchowski, Precinct 3. Back to the river. I don't know how many boats are in that river, probably Henry knows it, 800, 700. They don't all get pumped out. They dump their bilges on the way up and down the river. So guaranteed that's a ton of pollution. And as far as Sandy Beach, there are a lot of kids right on all those streets. They can't even go in and swim. They have to go, wherever they go. But it's really got to get taken care of. It's just, I didn't know it was that bad. I figured everyone went down to Sandy Beach once in a while, but you can't. And for us, that's very interesting. There used to be great fishing there when I was a little kid, but that's gone now. But I think the boats do it because residents spend $15 to have their bilges pumped. they go, well, just stuff right up the river.
And I think we
That's what they
had
do.
a pump out program.
Yeah, so
That
for
I'm
about,
learning about.
it's a great question, but for about 15 years now, we've run a pump out boat program where we receive a federal grant which reimburses 75% of the operating cost. And that pump out boat will go around free of charge and pump out any boat in Danvers. We do on average probably over 800 pump outs a year. So, and in addition to that, Danvers Port Yacht Club also has a shore-based pump out facility that's free as well because they receive the same grant. So
But some skate park, some just say,
Yeah.
hey.
it's possible.
Well, you're always, yeah, that's the same people that leave their bags and, run them on the road, right? So maybe, it may be time to, we'll get some more information out about it.
Can I just say one more thing before I? Is there any way with this Grease and Cook cleanup, the super fund there, that we can tag on a percentage from the grant money that was given to clean that up, that we can utilize that or put it in a trust and use that funding towards a dredging or some of the environmental testing that we have to pay for, like Chris has been so good at organizing?
I don't have an answer to that. That's certainly something we look into.
Yeah, I was just wondering.
Yeah, I don't
Because
know either, but
if we can just
we'll
put
ask.
something on there, because we don't know what's going to discharge out of that after they pack it up and leave. 5 years down the
They
road.
have a phase 3 plan. It's obviously not programmed or funded, but the EPA does have a phase 3 that would be low tide and below.
Yeah.
I don't know if that project will ever
They're digging a
happen.
30-foot
but-
trench, and they're gonna put all the beam house products into the trench, cap it off, and call it a day.
After they destroy that whole area.
Isn't that gonna be up by, the highway?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're creating a small landfill that
Yeah.
they will cap at the end of the project.
So I was just wondering if there's any way we can piggyback on that grant somehow, I don't know.
It wasn't a grant, I mean, that's direct funding.
Or funding from the feds,
Yeah.
piggyback on it, to hold them responsible for a period of time, to make sure there isn't any effluent coming out of there, or whatever. It's gotta be something to protect ourselves. And maybe use it towards, do you do your testing now in the soil before we dredge? And then we get the grant money to dredge 5 years from now, and then we go back to retest, and the levels are so high? Where did the highness come from? Did it come from the Grease and Soak plant? We don't know. We gotta set some type of baseline where the level is. And they should protect us on that.
Yes, well, we can always ask, and I'm just learning about it, in fact, probably in the first 2 weeks, they kept saying Grease and Cook, and I'm like, can somebody please tell me what you're talking about?
Sam and Joe's.
Because everybody refers to it, that way, so,
It's over by Sam and Joe's.
yes, I know where it is now, yeah. Yes, I've been learning my way around with some help. What else? Yes?
I just had one more question about Sandy Beach. I used to bring my grandkids down there because we go to John Joy Park, which is great. But then when they want to go on the swings, we go over to Sandy Beach because they have a swing set there. But the rest of the stuff that's in that little play area, not having anything to do with the beach, because I know we can't go in the water, but like there's these old decrepit cement structures that are like animals in the ground, like whales or something. They're dangerous. They're like metal sticking out of them and cement, broken pieces of cement on them. So I don't know if they can just be removed. I mean, I don't know, like, if anybody ever goes to that, like, we just do that once in a while, and like, we like to walk along the shore and look at the seaweed and all that stuff, but when they want to go on that, I'm like, don't go on that stuff, that is dangerous, it is falling apart, I don't know how old it is, I don't know when that was built, but I would say there might be original stuff, because it's really old and broken up, and that, I think it's dangerous.
We'll take a look, thank you.
50 years ago, okay, it looks like it was probably 50.
Really?
It's really bad, you should take a look at those. If they could just be removed to make it safer. The swings, I think, are okay, but I haven't gone there in the last year, so.
Take a look, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
And that's part of when I say, communicate with us, we can't have eyes, I can't have eyes everywhere, in all of Denver, so these are things that we need to hear. Sure.
Just a point, I don't know about storage and the boats and everything, but there was a fishing tournament in Beverly, I guess, in the past few days, and I met a few friends for lunch, and they were talking about dumping the waste. And they have the courtesy of being pumped, but they're not respecting how far out they're supposed to dump it. Yeah, well, so not everybody does the right thing, even though they could probably afford a pump with these expensive boats, but they don't always
do the right thing. This has been incredible. one, I just want to say that the way you guys are all working together and talking together really tells me a lot about this community. I didn't know if there'd be 2 people, 200 people, were they gonna be mad, were they gonna be upset, were they gonna be happy, but you guys are not only like bringing information to me, but you're, working on solutions and options and thoughts together, and it tells me a lot about.
Billy Bragg.
I was wondering when we were gonna hear from you. I've only been here 2 months.
Bill Bradstreet, town meeting member, precinct 1. A long time ago, George Park was built on spot where the dredgings were put so that they could dry out, so what was left could be used as fill where needed in town. I don't know if that property, that particular property has been checked for some leaching, just like the beam house or precinct cook across the street. In the old days, things were drained away outside, out of mind.
Yes.
It's like forever chemicals, it will come back and haunt you. But that's where they used to. Before, they had to haul it away, that's where they put it, dry it out. I don't know how long ago it was. I was alive then, so I do remember. But it's something that else can be looked into.
You've been alive forever, so.
Let's hope it stays.
I asked him if he's gonna come to all 4 of them. All 4 of my community roundtables. I would see him every other Thursday night.
There are a number of people in town, my age or older, know bits and pieces of what has happened in town over the years. You need to find out who they are and talk to them. Not that this is a good idea, it's public. The folks who know some of it get together and talk, but you really need to talk to somebody who can tell you people you really need to talk to get an over picture and then deal with the specifics that you discover along the way.
Thank you. Yeah, I spent my morning at the Veterans Coffee at the Senior Center. So that was a really incredible way to meet people, and I'm also very interested in talking to new families that are moving to Danvers and learning about what brought you here and why you chose Danvers. So if you guys know new families in your neighborhoods and stuff, please encourage them to reach out to. I'm always, I think Erin has shared some data with me about how some turnover about new families that move here. It's a very attractive place for young families, and I think this says a lot about the programs that we have and the services and just what Danvers means to people. So it's a very good spot.
I thought you were gonna talk again.
Thanks. Hi, I'm Ellen Graham. I live on Lindell Hill. I like all the ideas. Sandy Beach, very important. Recreation Department has always done a fabulous job for many, many years. We have great open space with Elk Grove. I think all those things should be priorities in town. What they all have in common, including dredging and things, is money. And where does the money come from? The goal is we all have to pitch in, and there's a fabulous program that if we all pitch in through our taxes, and we manage it through town meeting, the state will give us matching funds. And nobody likes to talk about it, and we've tried it many times, but we can, if we want something, we have to pay for it. So I think the most effective way is through the CPA. People don't like the idea of it. I know people don't like taxes, but at the same time, we want everything nice. So you can't get.
Actually, based on what you're saying, with all the people coming in with this new big thing we just built here in Danvers, there should be a lot more taxes coming in from that, right? We should, the businesses that are coming in, the people that are moving in, and let's figure out how we're gonna spend those taxes. And as I'm talking about that, excuse me, I know I cut you
We're
off.
having a really friendly discussion. We're going to keep it that way at this point, please.
It was my turn.
Go ahead.
So, CPA. I know it's not popular, and I understand that it's difficult for us all to pay for things.
And the drought.
There's a gazillion things, absolutely. But the whole idea of town meetings and hiring professionals educated in these kind of things is to put our money and our faith and work with them to get these things done. We can talk to them, and I appreciate all the efforts that everybody does who works for our town, but without the backing of money, we're never gonna get LaBelle's Road done. We're never gonna, I mean, LaBelle's Road is awesome, it was a dream of Wayne's forever. And the idea that it's just gonna sit there, and the idea that our fields, our baseball fields, are not what they used to be, just tells you how much we don't have in the budget, and how we have to make difficult decisions every year, because we never pass a 2.5 override, and we're all very proud of that. But again, if we don't put our money where our mouth is, the town will be an embarrassment at a Little League thing. When's the last time that happened? That the town of Danvers was embarrassed by their Little League fields? I can't remember the last time I've heard something like that. And it's all about the money. So I know it's difficult, I know times are tough. It's not easy for me either. But I think a few extra dollars to the community to make those things happen, I think would be really good.
Family Festival, where's the $900,000? Family Festival, they got $900-something thousand. We have no explanation where that money went to. She wants to put more money so it goes somewhere. We have to know where the money went to.
Wait, no.
Wait a minute, hold it.
We
My
just
turn?
talked about, hold on.
My turn.
We all just talked about
It's on my
how
clock.
this community is having a good, open conversation.
Right.
We're not gonna talk over each other.
No, we're not, but you
We're gonna
understand what I'm
have
saying.
a
There's a
continued
problem already. You're
dialogue.
asking for more money.
This issue is not a town, this is the town.
Oh, I understand
Yeah,
that.
so
No, you're
I
absolutely
just
right. It's
wanna
got nothing to do
make
with the
sure
town.
we're clear here.
But you see why people are stepping. I wouldn't mind giving money, but gotta know where it's gonna go.
So that's
the
what we
problem.
talked about, public trust, that's where I started, right?
Right,
That's where I
well, you
started.
can already see we don't have it in the way we don't, okay? Because we have no answers on that yet. That's a sad problem.
Well, we gotta keep the conversation open in order to build trust. And I really, it's getting hot in here, I can see that
No, I
people are
understand, but
getting.
I'll be the first to give something. It's something.
Literally and
you know.
figuratively. So let's try to keep it positive. We have another 30 minutes or so. I'm happy to keep going, but if it's, you know, like I said, I'm here to hear ideas and thoughts and how we can work together to get things done. So let's not yell over each other, I'm not comfortable with that.
I raised my hand.
Yes, you did. And your voice, all at the same time. It's all one package.
No charge.
Thank you. We're gonna go here and then here and then I saw someone over here. So we'll go around.
I'm gonna go back to young families. Is there any way that any of these could be a little bit later? I know a number of people that just couldn't make it here for 5.
Yeah.
And we like, people that are coming from work or whatnot, especially, younger working parents. So I just didn't know if, I know they're all scheduled.
These ones are
for
scheduled,
December.
but like I said, I'm hoping to do another series in the spring.
Okay.
And for those that don't know, and I think I saw the person who told me, asked me, it was you. The last one is at this, I think the last one's at the senior center. And the request was specifically for it to be accessible, so it'll be hybrid.
Okay.
Which, as a working parent, I've found
So
hybrid meetings to be, like, because you get
So you
home
gotta
and
Zoom in
you gotta feed,
yeah.
and you gotta do this, so you gotta do that, and so you can at least have, and so it'll be hybrid, not just projected, but for participation as well.
Okay, great.
So that's one thing I can give you for now, but we'll take that into account
Yeah, just
for the
a
next,
few people
the next round.
that I know
Yeah.
really just couldn't make it here for 5 o'clock and probably won't be able to make it here for 5 o'clock for the other ones. either.
And let them know
But-
too, come in, like, come late, that's okay.
Yeah, but going into the, like doing a hybrid thing will help.
Will help.
But, just something to think about maybe for the fall, maybe doing a little bit later or like a weekend or something like that. Yeah,
And also, please, if there's people who wanna come, they don't have to be here at 5 o'clock.
I'll pass that on.
Yeah, come in whenever it works for you. We haven't heard from you yet.
Marilyn Hazel, town meeting member, precinct 6, voting registrar and retired educator at University.
We've
Some of
met.
my former students are here, as well as parents of people I taught. I want to make 2 positive comments.
Thank you.
First of all, about this absolutely beautiful park. I was chair of Boy Scout Troop 58 way back in the 80s and 90s. and many of the scouts did projects here. I loved the park then. I have not been here too much since then, except the playground with my grandchildren. But you know, I drove in here tonight, and the grounds were just so magnificent.
Beautiful.
And we have a gem. We have a wonderful recreation program here, and I know that from my grandchildren also. The other thing I want to say, I taught here starting in '69, I moved here in '87, and in all my time here, I do not recall, maybe they were in existence and I didn't know about it, I do not recall any type of a thing like this event tonight, like this round table. And I want to compliment you for opening it up to the town and making this a civil and wonderful discussion with many ideas brought forth, and I appreciate your listening to people in the town. And I'm
I can't take it, like there'll be meetings where I'll let you guys come straight at me, and I will sit there and I will take it, and I will hear you. But I feel like tonight it's been very productive, and it's all the different ideas and treating each other with respect. That's really important to me. So I'm here, and then Bill's over here, and you're over here. So yes.
I'm fairly new to town, and I just want to say, I was going to compliment you on the same thing, saying I feel very, oh God, whenever I public speak, I can't think of words. I feel a little bit excited about, I know, no, I can't use those words.
No, I said appreciative.
I'm very appreciative of the openness and the willingness to work with. And, you know, getting more money doesn't necessarily seem more taxes. Maybe there are committees or, you know, things in town that we can take a little from here and maybe add a little more there, or maybe there's ways to be done without actually, you know, look forward to the new housing, there'll be taxes and stuff like all that.
Well, that's part of hearing priorities here,
Right,
too, right?
right.
Listening
So it
to
doesn't
you
necessarily
all.
mean more taxes, but I'm encouraged. I think, I'm impressed by you.
Oh, thank you.
No, I am. And
My team, I think they thought I was a little crazy, because they're like, so what are you talking about? I'm like, I don't know. I want to wait to hear what they want to talk about.
Yeah, no, I think it's wonderful.
I'm really
looking
proud of
forward
this team to
seeing what's
receive
happening.
today, so, and the team I have been so impressed with as I've gotten to know all of them.
It's a good town. I just got here. I'm
It's a
still
great
learning my
town.
way around,
Me
especially
too.
the local politics. And I think it's wonderful that you're willing to hear everybody out and do what's best for town.
And I'm not always gonna agree with everyone, I can't do everything everybody wants me to do, but I need to listen and take it into consideration, because that's,
I'm very impressed by how many people have
I can't believe how many people are
for
here.
generations.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, a couple of generations of Danvers families have been here forever. And that says a lot. People must really love the town.
Keep it under control over here, you two. Over here.
Hi, Luis Velasquez, Precinct 7, and I was thinking about what Dave McKenna said earlier, about Danvers being a historic town, and how, as a community, we forget where we come from, right? And the country's coming to the 250th anniversary, no matter what. Next year, it's going to be 250 years, and Danvers was founded before that. So we should capitalize on that. As a town, for live by the wheel, we should capitalize on the historic Danvers. I live next to Judge Holton's house. He was a founding father, correct? A founding father, my neighbor. And I live right behind the Rebecca Morse homestead, right behind it, historic site. And then the witchcraft trials happened right here. You know, people think it was, no, it happened right here. And then we can do something as corny as do recreation of the trials, right? Or something more dramatic, like a town-wide celebration of the 250 years of the country. The Danvers have a very central piece of it, right? And then we can capitalize that, maybe get a fundraiser going at the Aggie, at the bar of the Aggie, right? And get like a fundraiser, a silent auction, historic-based, and then maybe we get money for the poor, you know, for trespass around the trail. You never know. The point is, we should not forget ever where we come from. One community, that's it. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Brad.
Talking about pollution, this is Endicott back. Down by the water is a, I think a loft so people can fish.
Oh, is it
No swimming.
I'm gonna need it after this, it's a little warm in here.
When they started developing this after we got a hold of it before someone was gonna turn it into a housing, a golf course. They were gonna make it a golf course. Housing and golf.
283 houses.
Well, anyways, there's pollution down there. I believe they've been told in the past, catch the fish, don't eat them. But there is supposed to be pollution down there. Maybe that's something else the town could look into for, if there is pollution, we get out dealing with it. I'm not saying haul everything away, but somehow do something about what I was told was down there. We don't need a sign, I mean, in that, watch out for the pollution.
Yeah, we don't want that.
Watch out for the snap.
Yeah, snap is already more. Really, the turtles in there? I think you, yeah, I was gonna say, there was another hand over here.
So,
And thank you, by the way.
I apologize.
It's okay, thank you.
Tax is getting a little wild. But, you know, one thing I want to say, you know, with all the development that has been going on, it's not a new thing. You know, we always are in drought. There's so many people using the water that we have, we're always in a drought situation. And if we keep building and bringing more and more people, that's never gonna get fixed. I mean, when we come off of having a winter with more snow than we've had in, you know, I don't know, 10 years or something, and we're already at drought level conditions, you know, I feel like, you know, we do have to, at some point, stop and think about what we're doing with what we have for resources and how many people live here. And then, my second thing I was gonna say, you know, date myself. I don't know if anybody in here ever, as a kid, got a kit where, like from MS, where your whole neighborhood gets together, and you go on a carnival, and, you know, the neighborhood mothers make stuff, and people bring them, and you have all kinds of games. Now, the games were kind of lame because we were little kids doing it. But I think that kind of an idea might work in this community.
There are more block parties in this community. Every time I look at a select board agenda, they're blocking off the street for a block party.
No, but I mean like something we could have at like the high school field or something.
And
We're not here
I think
saying,
everybody would participate in a fundraiser in this town. Depending on what it was.
I'm like, say, a high school bake sale goes like crazy. I mean, you know, like, there's things we can do, I think, without raising taxes, and by the fact that we're all here, I think it'll work, you know. But anyway, thank you again. And by the way, I've lived here for 25 years. This is the first time I've come to a meeting. So thank you very much for being here and doing it this way.
And we do have a water czar here tonight. And so we don't have, I mean, there are lots of educational opportunities around water. I'm just learning from Sharon, and as well as I visited the water treatment plant for the first time last week. That is an incredible operation if you have not seen it. And Jason, who runs that plant, there are workers in this town that people probably never, ever, ever see that make sure that the water that you drink every day is clean, and they take their work very seriously. It's really an impressive operation over there. But the other side of it is learning how we use water, how we bring in water, how we store water, how we use water as consumers. Sharon does a lot of educational events. I'm not going to put you on the spot to have to explain the whole water issue or the whole water atmosphere right now, but if there's a part you want to share, or if anybody really wants to talk about this, she's also, I mean, for the Ipswich Watershed, and she works with the other communities as well. She's educating me right now, and we're learning more. I'm learning more, so actually one of the veterans asked me what I was going to do about it today, and I said, well, I don't know yet. I just got here, but I'm learning more, and we are very lucky now in communities to have a share. You want to say it?
So I can offer a few thoughts on water. So over the last 20 years as a community, we have not drawn more water. So the development, while it may place additional demand, it's a much smaller amount of demand than you might think. So new development has efficient fixtures, it's a requirement of our building code. So it's part of the problem, but it's not the problem. The problem is the Ipswich River and our groundwater and the replenishment of. So the drought that happened this past fall into winter really drained our resources. We did not get a record amount of snow this winter. It did not replenish our water source. It took longer to recharge. So when we came to the month of May, we were still in an extreme drought, which is why we couldn't allow watering. And those conditions are in our water withdrawal permit. So we are governed and regulated and have to follow very specific parameters. It's not a judgment call. It's the river flow is this, the reservoir level is this, the forecasted rain is non-existent, you're in a level 6, we cannot use outdoor water. So the drought was unprecedented. The dangers it placed us in were extreme, and as water suppliers, we have to be concerned with safety and providing enough water to our residents. The recharge did occur by June, so we went down to a level 2 with all the rain that we got. It did take a longer time for the reservoir to recharge. So that's what we were waiting for.
And the regulations behind water are really boring, but somewhat, unfortunately, they are what we have to work within. So again, I totally I encourage people to learn more, and Sharon does usually do it in a much more fun way to teach you about water. So it's not just here's the permit and this is what we have to do, but she puts on some really incredible educational events around water and our use of it. And
Could I just add one other detail that not many know about? So we have a water use mitigation fund that we collect from developers. So know that
that's a funny name.
please don't call it WAM.
That was one of the first things I asked you guys. I'm like,
What
can
is
somebody
WAM?
please explain this to me?
So any developer that places additional water demand on our system pays into that fund, and that is used for water conservation measures. It's used for leak detection. We do leak detection on our infrastructure every year, Danvers and Middleton. We have 48 sensors placed on fire hydrants now that listen to the pipes and tell us where potential water main breaks could occur, so we get ahead of it now. We have a 5-year capital plan underway where we're fixing infrastructure, so we're so sorry about Locust Street, but that's all that work.
I told me this morning it's smooth.
So it's refinished, the street division is over this
Last
week.
year's portion was this year's.
This year's your all.
So it's only
So next summer you're gonna be really happy.
Next year will be great.
Yeah, so there's a lot of work toward water conservation, we're very mindful of it, but we have not drawn more water in 20 years. The increased water usage happens on May 1st, when everyone wants to water their lawns. And when we're concerned about public safety and providing enough water, we have to restrict the outdoor use. So that's the explanation on why we have that restriction.
Thank you, Sharon.
You're welcome.
That's an amazing explanation.
She's actually, yeah, I encourage you to attend one of the events. Like I said, it's usually more fun.
Hating to admit that I'm one of the old timers Bill was talking about that know what's been going on for a long time. Everybody complains we're not doing anything to increase our water supply. It's not true. We don't hear about it in the newspapers all the time. The town is constantly looking for new water sources. I think it was 2 years ago, they did some test drilling down at Rebecca Nurse Homestead to try to see if they can find a water source out of that. You also have to remember that it was about 1990. The town had a plan before the Corps of Engineers to double the capacity of our reservoir up on Boston Brook in Middleton. We were this close to getting our permit. It was like the 11th hour, 1 minute before midnight. The Army Corps of Engineers said, there's just been a ruling passed that we cannot allow any more filling of wetlands, even if it's with water. And he said, pull your permit. We had to. We would have solved our water problems forever if they had allowed us to do that. But they pulled the permit on us at the last minute. So the town is working on these problems of these, looking for other sources. Hopefully they'll come up with something. Maybe desalinization someday, I don't know.
The town engineer, when he drove me around, while the water treatment plant was amazing to see, and the reservoirs were beautiful, it also brought me to things that were just boxed into the ground. It was like, that's, there's stuff under there. But we really had a long conversation about it, and he has a lot of ideas, and he is confident in our ability to have plenty of water. I mean, because we are definitely getting pressure to join the MWRA, and he says, I think that Danvers is gonna be better, that we have solutions on our own, and so we have a great team working on it. And sharing with me that some of the projects you're talking about were grant funded, so it's one of those things that, and it also goes to all the stuff underground. We flush our toilets, we turn on our tap water, things that we don't think about every day, but you do, please know that your Danvers team is thinking about it and planning forward, thinking about it.
We'll go back to the Creasy Cook project, and as to access that whole area, they tore up railroad tracks and put down fill, which to me looks like they're setting us up for a rail trail. And I really hope we can take advantage of that.
I'm getting nods from our planning team over here.
That part of town is fantastic. So, yes, the Creasy Cook and part of the issue with amending, I think the gentleman from the River Committee left, part of the issue with changing what the project is the EPA operates, it's kind of like your planning board or your ZBA, like that's a super duper serious permit, it's a record of decision, it is filed in court. And they accepted our comment to turn that into a rail trail when they were done. We're now kicking off the next phase of that, which is working with the MBTA to amend the lease, which we have on the existing path, or the original, the Marquee Memorial Rail Trail, to incorporate basically the intersection from Elm and the one in front of Town Hall, I don't know, one of the 6 streets that comes together right there.
Park Street, Park.
All the way down to where the MBTA monument is at the condos across from Sam and Joe's. So I don't know how long that'll take, but it's in the record of decision, and now we just need to make the MBTA sign that over to us. So that's the plan.
Great.
If it happens, it's good.
And as we start to wrap up, I do also want to remind you, I mean, this is, obviously you guys are engaged, so if you were looking for some formal engagement, we have openings on our boards and commissions. Citizens Academy, who here has done this? Has anyone done it? Did you love it? Was it as fun as it sounds? Yeah. And our team, yeah, you get to really see how it all works, and I know our team loves doing it, and they're getting excited about it. And Ann just asked me to approve which tote bag you get if you sign up this year, and the new tote bag is really cool. It's like this stuff anyway. Ann's like, which one do you like? Really important that we do the text notifications if you're not. That's probably the most important thing, especially what we're going through. Yes, please. Haven't heard from you guys tonight.
I have a question on the rail trail. Any idea when the extension from 62 all the way to Nichols Street to 95 is going to happen?
62, so Maple Street, where kind of the gravel ends today, to Nichols Street. So we have, so we have about, I don't know, I'll say around $100,000 still in the kitty from prior authorizations. We're kind of holding on to that right now a little bit, working with the engineering department to, the biggest obstacle is going to be the grade change from 62 down on the other side.
Yeah, it seems like that.
That's a major obstacle that we have to meet at 5%. So if you know where the gravel stops on the other side, we're going to have to do that on the, basically that's the 5% that we need to hit in order for the path to be ADA compliant. So we have to do that, something like that on the other side. So we're working with engineering right now to get that to final design so that we have a better idea of what that's going to cost us. We're probably going to be proposing an article to town meeting for annual 26 town meeting for the FY27 budget so that we can build that in FY27. The state segment, basically from Danvers Animal Hospital to Kirkbride Drive, is programmed, the state is designing that and paying for that, which is an amazing opportunity for us.
typically they make the localities fund TIP projects, Transportation Improvement Program, I'm sorry, I shouldn't use acronyms. So the state is picking that portion up, so we're just trying to time it out so that we're done when their project starts. So hoping to see that section built, I want to say it was summer of '26, which would be the beginning of fiscal '27. So town meeting in May would approve, and then we'd start that next year. That segment's not terribly complex. We could probably, realistically, we have the resources to put the gravel down on the other side of that, but we just figure we want to save our pennies until we're sure of what exactly that grade change is going to cost us and look like before we spend more money from the kids. And we do have, I said about $100,000. Those are the local funds. We probably have about that much again in grant money that we have yet to spend. So again, we're just kind of holding pat until we have the best idea of what the construction costs are going to look like for those that about 500 yards that we're looking at.
Does the state have anything, what is the state, is there any plans already for the state we can look at?
They're working on the formal process the Department of Transportation goes through at the state level. There will be a public hearing when they get to 25% design. There'll be a public hearing required when they get to 75% design. And if you get through the 75% design, it then moves to programming. There's no 100% design process. We're on track. We just had what they call an over-the-shoulder. They've shown us the 25% design plan as it exists, and the intra-agency review revealed a few problems that one state agency has with the other state agency. So they need to figure that out. So I don't know when that hearing will occur, but again, we're programmed now nominally. I think for them it's FY27 start and probably a construction in calendar 28.
So that would be done before.
So in theory, right now, we have planned entire, all the way to the Middleton town line. And then if you incorporate Crease and Cook, we have a plan to get all the way back to Sam and Joe's on the new rail trail. And obviously, the existing rail trail is complete. So a few more years and we're there.
Real question is, what's going to be done first, the Kerwin Bridge?
I just have to remember when I'm crossing, when I'm driving, that's where the rail trail crosses. Because one of the staff was out showing me things, and the guy came out on an electric bike, and I was, you know, good to remember that's the crossing. Yes.
Yeah, as the rail trail expands and gets completed, it's wonderful. I'm on the committee, and I love everything about it. But if people are riding bikes and they're going somewhere and they're using it to pick up food somewhere or something, it's kind of dangerous riding a bike on the streets. And maybe if you could come up with a plan to address that issue. Right now, there's you know, you're on your own once you go off the trail. I don't want it to end up like Salem. Please. But some other, maybe, I don't know what the plan is, but something that needs to be addressed.
So with all this discussion tonight about priorities, when you take your takeaway from this, how are you going to communicate it back to us? Like, what is the form if you change priorities that we should look to see?
Yeah, I don't really know yet. I'm working through that. So the next step with this, I'm taking this back. I'm going to be meeting with the select board, appointed Mike Bean and Dan Bennett as the two members that are going to help set priorities or goals for me. I think I think you'll see in this first year, like I said when I started, it'll be a lot of kind of internal. Let's get communication strategies set. Let's make sure we're set kind of internally and how we're working, transparency and those kind of things. And then step into, okay, where are we on these programs? So I'm guessing the first you'll see of it is some of the budget proposals for next spring is when you'll really see kind of all the feedback from this. But I honestly didn't know if I was gonna have 4 people here or 40 people here. So when they asked me, and I was like, well, let's see what we get, and let's listen, and I would stay tuned, and if you put your email on this, we're playing with an email address that would be like community roundtables at Danvers that we can send information out. It won't be monitored coming back in because we have we already have TM and if one of us has one, but it would be a way to make sure that anybody who's kind of made that step to be engaged with us can hear back from us on what that looks like. So stay tuned.
That list hasn't made it everywhere, I don't believe. We didn't see it.
I want to say before I forget, because we started with the trash and recycling, and Erica, tell me if I'm right or wrong. One of the, so in learning from experience, right, I think our DPW director said the other day to me when things were happening, he was like, look, we're trying, and I'd rather fail trying than not put something out at all. So we are learning from Tuesday. We will have recycling events, like I said, Saturday, Tuesday, Thursday. We're asking residents to go on days associated with what would normally be your pickup, so we can try to measure it. So, I'm gonna let Erica say it, so I don't say it wrong.
So Saturday's event will be for Friday and Monday routes. Tuesday's event will be for Tuesday, Wednesday routes, and Thursday's event will be for Thursday, and then
whoever.
another Friday.
Again, we know not everybody can do that. The weekday ones will be evening 3 to 7. We know that's not gonna work for everybody, but it is possible. It will really help. Whoever started said they lived over there and was dealing with the traffic. Thank you. You know, it'll help that neighborhood absorb it. It'll help us, again, work all as a community to get through it. And we have 8 dumpsters this time. So, and assurances from the company that they will then be able to haul them out, get them emptied and back for the next event. So just keep that in mind. We're gonna start communicating that out. Yep, go ahead.
Speaking of trash, Lauren sees the same three county member. Does the town or you have any plans to withhold payments of some sort to Republic?
This first complaint filed with the other communities is a nuisance complaint because that is a complaint we could file as a multi-municipality complaint because the nuisance piece is common. The contractual pieces are separate. Each one of our contracts is different, so we are pursuing that separately. I'm working with legal on it now, and Rodney, there was a few months going around today about we've been keeping track of every expense, including regular time of DPW doing trash and overtime, so we are on it. And we will not be paying for services that we did not get.
Does that also apply down the line then? You get a little money back, not about $200 a year for the...
That part I can't promise because I don't know where it all goes, but I will see what I can do. And I will, I learned that you did the trash fee right before it came in, and so to find out the trash fee passed and then the trash strike happens, I was like, wow, great, thank you, that's great for me. So I'm learning more about where those things come in, I can get into that right now, but we are definitely holding them accountable. And I will send out some communications so you guys can see exactly what's going on. And hopefully I'm out on the news tonight. Hopefully all the mayors took the airtime. I kept pushing the mayors forward. I'm like, I don't need this. You guys can have the airtime.
So is the recycling starting this Saturday?
This Saturday?
And that's what, 9 to 12?
At 8 to...
So Saturday will be 8 to 2, and then the Tuesday, Thursday events will be 3 to 7, so in the evening.
And that's bringing it, that's not picking up.
That's correct, yeah. Not yet.
No, that's
By tomorrow.
Well, good. Thank you. Thank you all so much. I mean, you guys That better be a good one. You're the last one.
I'm gonna wrap it up for you nice here.
Okay.
Derek Bergman, I just moved back to town. I grew up right next door to this park. I love this place, third generation in that house. And I want to thank you for putting this together for us. I want to thank Mark Zubrick here for doing this. UCAP is an amazing resource that we should all be grateful for, especially through COVID. We know how tied together for everybody. And Chris Sanborn, you do an amazing job, you and your staff. I love this park, it's a beautiful place. And with that in mind, I noticed recently a project to rehab this building. Is that something that's going on? I'd like to hear a little bit about that.
It's happening in phases. We're very fortunate to work with the Friends of Endicott Park, as well as for it, we've applied for several grants for it, so, we're doing small parts.
All right, well, let us know what we can do to help. I saw that post on Facebook and I was like, all right, let's go. It's Highland stuff, the Loveland legacy here. It's a really important place for us.
If anyone wants to do a memorial work to go in front of the barn that they're being sold again.
Okay.
You can get it on the front of it.
And I should, you made a very good point. I want to make sure to thank the whole team that was here tonight, and especially the guys who've been skinny this whole time. No, Diana, that's how, thank you. Our rec team, everyone at ABW that's here. And I appreciate you.
I just want to thank our town manager for putting this together. Think about it, when Marilyn said, in all the years that we've lived here, Marilyn, has it been like this? She's promoting a welcoming community. So please come to the other round tables. I thank you.
There'll be
Dave,
more
yeah, Dave, Chris, and this gentleman in the background, I see him every morning when I walk my dog. Thank you so much. This is why we